So as you can see, help is on the way. It must have sunk into my head. And I thought, that's the line that Grace says to Gerald at the very end of the Werewolf movie. As the authorities come to rescue, help is on the way, he says. In exhaustion, after his beloved lays there and shapeshifts back into the human female form as Eve designed, and lays there, slowly ashen and growing pale. And Gerald tries to answer. The vlog. I guess it was over earlier, and then I thought to myself, well, I don't know. And I see another thing. I was thinking to myself, you know, the vlog. The vlog is over. Slight bump. Much better. Ooh, slight skin. There she blows, my friend. There she blows, vitty well. And cut maybe a little bit more. We move onward. Progress. Like always.
So again,
so we are doing pizza and cucumbers, and we are doing tomatoes.
the two we bought today.
Yes, I believe so. I know that one for sure will be cut up.
I just saw you open up the fridge.
Right, I cut that cucumber up, and I'm working on this one.
Yes, sweetie. Now I got it.
So this, and voila. So I did this salad. I cut up the tomatoes. We put spinach in there, and we put tomatoes on the actual pizza, which is cooking. So. So, as you know, I am a James Dean fan. I've always been a James Dean fan. I had a James Dean poster in my room when I was a young kid. I wasn't the type to have like a River Phoenix poster. I didn't have that or anything like that. Or I had the James Dean poster. I was also a big Morrissey fan, so I loved listening to the Smiths and Morrissey. So I am going to talk a little bit about the turnip seed incident, where turnip seed made the illegal left-hand turn, killing James Dean and his mechanic friend, Rolf Rutherick, pretty much instantly. Rutherick did survive, but died at the hospital about 6:20. James Dean was ticketed about 3:30. I'm assuming was probably released from the whole ticket probably about 3:33 or so, and then hit the road. This was in the afternoon at 3:33 p.m. by the time he was released. The accident happened further down the road from the ticket. He was going very fast when the cop pulled him over. But the second time, they're saying, because of the judging the tire tracks and from the photos, they're saying that Dean was following the speed limit at about 55 miles per hour. Now, he did slam into Donald Turnipseed because Donald Turnipseed was breaking the law and making a left-hand illegal turn in front of their vehicle, and they collided together. So Donald Turnipseed killed them. He's a college student in a hurry, made the left-hand turn when he shouldn't have. It was an illegal turn. Dean died instantly. His neck was broken. Also, he had internal injuries, and his left foot, or I think it may have been his left foot, we'll have to do research on it, but his foot was crushed between the brake and the clutch. So the clutch and the brake smashed and destroyed the vehicle. When the vehicle was destroyed, it smashed his foot, destroyed his foot as well. So his foot was mangled beyond repair, but his neck was broken instantly. James Dean really wasn't truly that famous at that time. James Dean had only had one film released at that time, which was East of Eden. We'll get into the Elia Kazan thing and all that stuff later. But East of Eden was the only thing that was released. They didn't even really know who he was. Later, after his death, then they released Rebel Without a Cause, and then finally releasing The Giant. He was nominated, I believe, for those film, all three. I want to say he was nominated posthumously. So when it all happened, he was a rising star, and the wreck and the death made him pretty much famous. The thing about James Dean that a lot of people don't realize, and I'm going kind of on a tangent and not really focusing on just the death. I do plan to go to Marfa if possible. It's very far away. Texas is a big state. I'm in Texas now. The thing about James Dean that people don't really realize is what he did to the youth culture and how there was a shift. Now, Marlon Brando, and I'm going on the side of Marlon Brando just to make this point, was one of the first big actors, and method actors, we'll get into all that stuff later, but he was one of the big actors at that time to change the way people kind of in a way dressed. Because Streetcar Named Desire came out, eventually became a film, and the Levi look, right, the blue jeans that we wear today is because of Marlon Brando. You got to make that clear. Marlon Brando was very excited about wearing these factory style pant thing that people would wear in the factory, which I think was pretty much like a Levi, blue jeans, on the stage for Stanley Kowalski and Named Desire by Tennessee Williams, who basically it all was directed by Elia Kazan. So Elia Kazan was behind some of the design and worked with Marlon Brando to find that look. After that play became very, very famous off of Broadway, or on Broadway, and Tennessee Williams got it onto the screen, everyone started wearing blue jeans, okay? James Dean followed in the shadow of Marlon Brando, but James Dean changed the way that the youth were fed information. A long time ago in the 50s, you learned your music, you learned your clothing, you learned your style as a child from the older generation, as of your parents. James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause and all that stuff, made it where the youth were to find their own expression, and rebellion became part of that aspect. Meaning, don't tell me what to wear, don't tell me how to act, and don't tell me that I can't drive a Spider Porsche or something, you know. He died in a Spider Porsche. Originally, he had it was like a Speedster, and he had traded it in for that Spider for the quality of catching greater speeds and things like that. But the idea behind James Dean was that you are this rebel, don't listen to the parents, and Rebel Without a Cause was, just, you're tearing me apart, all that stuff was to get away from being guided by the older generation and to find that the younger generation, or your current generation, is what you are. Okay, some of my vlogs, I kind of talked about that a little bit today. I don't know when it'll be released, but this one probably will be going maybe on Facebook. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because when I approach the death and the tragic wreck and all the stuff with Donald Turnipseed and what ended up happening with James Dean, is because he actually was not speeding. He was actually following the law. He had just been pulled over by a police officer. He was probably going about 55. So a lot of this was an act. It wasn't really, I think, what James Dean really represented. I think he was an artist. He was trying to find his way in Hollywood. He was very young in the film industry. He was kind of a poet. He worked with Lee Strasberg, went out to the actor's studio. He started off, his parents had a connection with Santa Monica. He did live in Indiana. I think Fairmont, Indiana was a big place that he hung out with the cattle and did all this photography and stuff when he came back from New York. So all of this stuff was part of what represented a rebellion. I think he went back to his high school reunion, took his autographs. He was actually a law-abiding guy. There was all this stuff about homosexuality and stuff. It wasn't something that he went out and really did reports on, if he was bisexual or whatever. But these things were rumored, and it wasn't something that he was promoting. So the rebel was kind of a character that he was playing. Marlon Brando, another story. James Dean was kind of a young, brooding, struggling actor there was more of an innocent quality to him, as opposed to the real rebel who really tore it up, who was Marlon Brando. Now, my conspiracy theory is that, yes, Marlon Brando loosened the brakes, okay? Meaning Marlon Brando went in there and got someone to mess with his brakes, or did it himself, because Marlon Brando probably could have. He was a genius. This is only for fun. I don't know if you ever heard this of me talk about this, but I've talked about my friends, other acting friends. I don't know for sure. Probably not. But Marlon Brando did accuse James Dean of stealing his style, this whole thing that he did, which was very theatrical. And Marlon Brando was very theatrical. He used theater. He was a great actor, but he was very, very much all this stuff that he did it was all planned. With Dean, I think he was exploring more of a kind of rebellious way of approaching things. Of course, after his death, they saw him as this rebel figure, and it was like a dangerous kind of thing. But anyway, I do want to explore that, and it's something that I am releasing. So it's just kind of a little James Dean death vlog kind of thing. Guy vlogs the crap out of his freaking house. He's doing some kind of weightlifting room or something. Not that I really care. Holy snow. I think they're possibly going to England. I don't know. I see my mom go up to Canada. Maybe fly off to England. Got a friend that lives up there. She's an actress. She worked with the Udahagen on Broadway. And her sister is a puppeteer in New York at Radio City Music Hall. She also has a connection to a theater here known as Hip Pocket Theater in Fort Worth. I thought it'd be interesting to vlog England and the globe. Get a green light on it. So, of course, Jordan wanted to go back to Europe. I've been to Europe myself. I thought it would be kind of cool. Maybe just to visit. Plus, you know, all the good actors are there. First of all, my favorite actor, the best actor that we have of our generation, Gary Oldman. He's actually over in the United Kingdom. Anthony Hopkins, of course, he just won an Oscar. Daniel Day-Lewis, Christian Bale. All of them. The best ones are there. It may not be a bad place to even go see. You know, Sam Shepard actually went there and wrote Action. He wrote a play called Action. It was a one-act play that I directed in Denton when I was going to school up there. Sam Shepard went there and wrote that there. But England is an ideal place. Of course, it would take some money. There's a way to go there. It's just a thought. Oh, one more thing. I just remembered. Tina Planet is over there too. She's got her whole vlog show that's going on throughout all of Europe. I wonder who'd get there first, me or Jordan? I don't know if the fledglings flew off or not.
Huh?
The fledglings.
I can't hear you, what?
I said, I don't know if the fledglings flew away or not.
I read some are like 13 to 20 days or something.
I gotta get a water bottle.
I already have one.
No, I mean, I was gonna get one for me.
Don't forget.
You look good, sweetie.
Thank you. See ya.
You sure are pretty.
Thank you.
Birds. So as a vlogger, you're going to come across many birds. Come across pigeons, doves. They're about the same. Hawks, vultures, eagles. You might come across a geese, a goose, or gooses or geese. Leave a comment. You could come across a pterodactyl, probably at a museum. They come across a lot of different types of birds. Whoa. I got the trash. Don't panic. It's okay. It just means, oh dear. There's another one right there. Let's see. It's on the fence. It just means you're a vlogger and you've got the vlogging disease, and you will find that birds will get your attention. It's normal. They'll diagnose it, right, bird? Looks like he's got some lunch right here. Yeah, he's running around. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, he's still on the fence. right there. You got the insect, and he's good to go. Like I said, don't panic. Just video the birds. Ooh. Just video the birds and enjoy. Birds are good. They need to be filmed. They know you're there. Listen, if anything in this world knows that a vlogger is around, it's a bird. They'll have the camera on the bird. Now, if you don't film the bird, it doesn't mean that you're not a vlogger. You just haven't found that aspect of your vlog. You'll see the bird, you'll begin to film it. You get lost in the bird's world. You'll talk to the bird. The bird will chirp back. Sometimes you'll pretend like you understand the bird. You ask the bird directions. Where do I go, bird? The bird chirps back, chirp, chirp, chirp. You keep going. You may do this with cattle too. So if you see a cow, you could ask the cow directions or maybe say something nice. All kinds of stuff. Just like, you know, Adam and Eve kind of thing. You're in the garden talking to the animals. In a way, it's kind of a rebirth of the garden. It's still out there. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I saw the bird. Now, secondly, speech. Don't worry about it. I went to a place called the Actors Studio. The one thing they don't focus on is speech. It doesn't mean that they don't study how to speak clearly like a bunch of nutty broadcast people, you know, where they say the word like, instead of saying five, they say five, you know. You don't really have to talk like an idiot. You can just talk naturally eventually, because people don't want to hear how impressive you sound. Another thing too about the studio is we care more about the humanity than how something, you know, sounds. We're more concerned about what's going on inside of you, rather than, you know, how crisp you hit your consonants or how well the accent's pulled off. The method actor went beyond that, so we don't really judge you. Oh my God, Hitchcock. See it like that. Yeah, it just flew right over me. It's going. Oh yeah, right down that way. That's crazy. I mean, I guess they're going to this dumpster right here. Amazing. All three of them. Got them all three in the trash. Digging for the lives. Look at that. Now, we talked about birds and speech accordingly, and now people. So you'll be walking around talking in a phone like this. There'll be other people around looking at you. Don't pay them any mind at all. They know what they're doing, and you know what they're doing. If they continue to bother you and get too close, and they keep bothering you over and over again, even though I've got all this anti-police stuff, just ask the person to keep their 6 foot, or the authorities will be called. That's what you want to do. Make sure they keep their distance, because we're in a time of a pandemic. It's not a time to get up in someone else's face or invade their space. Doesn't matter where you are. So, if someone tries to invade your space and get it within 6 feet, call the authorities. That solves that problem. Looks like war is over. One more thing about war. Okay, it's over. Now, one more thing, subscriptions and views. Look, I've got some that have 172,000 views, and I've got some that have a few. I saw an episode with Adam the Woo. He talked about that. He just threw his videos out there. Okay, it wasn't about that. Trust me, if you go vlogging, let's say you go vlogging for, I don't know, 2 years or more, whatever the amount is, you're not doing it for the views. So you'll do it anyway. I've been doing this off and on for about a decade, so I'm learning. I did take about 6 years off to get married and have some kids. So I have 3 kids, 1, 2, and 3. Now, I went back to it because I have a message. Jesus loves you. Now, smiling. So there's different kinds of smiles, like a real smile, then you have a fake smile, then you have this kind of smile, awkward smile. You can practice smiling in the mirror. Now, smiling. So there's different kinds of smiles, like a real smile, then you have a fake smile, then you have this kind of smile, awkward smile. You can practice smiling in the mirror. Single file. Isn't that better? And one thing I wanted to say about the Vietnam War. If you look at the Vietnam War, Ho Chi Minh eventually changed the city name of South Vietnam to Ho Chi Minh City. I don't know, it was like some city like Saigon or whatever. Some southern city changed the name to Ho Chi Minh City. And that's all. That's all he did. The whole war, the whole accomplishment of the Vietnam War for Ho Chi Minh was just to change the name of a city. It's democratic. It's not even communist. The communists didn't win. You see what I'm saying? Because the South would remain in the South. No big deal. So, they had a new government official. The South was still the South. And any northern person that moved into the South, Vietnam, became part of the South. And eventually peace arose. And eventually democracy took over. Do you see? So in the long run, all the war was absolutely for nothing. There's a restructuring happened on its own. People don't want communism. You know, they don't want dictatorship. They'll rebel against it. You're not going to tell me what to do. So you got laws written down on paper. Well, Constitution's always evolving. So basically, in the long run, stop killing babies. Those people that support baby killing, they don't have any compassion at all. Right? No compassion. They just kind of go around life indifferent, going, Baby killers are disgusting, right? They don't know emotion. They're not creative. They sit around, stare into space because they're murderers. Those that represent life are creative. The pro-lifers have compassion and feel emotion and have tears. They want life to continue. Big thing right there. What I'm trying to say is that if you're a baby killer, wake up. If you're aborting children, wake up. You're like a robot. And robots lose. Didn't you ever see Terminator? Right. The robots are the enemy. The people that have emotions and humanity are the winners. So the feminists, chill out. I know you love me. Fran Lebowitz, just smile. Drink a Pepsi. You wrote your book. Metropolitan, yeah, I know. So what? You like to throw around the word stupid? But you know what? It's stupid to support abortion. Here's the last thing I want to say about your body. There is no body. And when I mean there's no body, what I mean is that there's no body. There's only the spirit. It was a play that my father, he didn't write it down on paper, but he came up with it in his own his own head. It was called Nobody, or There Ain't Nobody. There ain't nobody. In the end, we leave our bodies. In the end, your body no longer belongs to you in the end. you leave that body behind. The reason why you leave the body behind is because there's only the spirit. So be a good steward of your body. And if there's life that's growing in it, allow it to live and breathe. And allow that life to be a good steward of that person's body. And in the end, your body will no longer belong to you, and you will belong to the spirit, because all there is the spirit. When I picked up the guitar when I was a dad, and I would start playing the guitar, my kids, which are around 3 or 4 years old or something, they just start dancing around the room. Never have I ever once instructed my children to dance. Never told them how to, never told them whatever moves. I just started playing the guitar, and they just started dancing around, as if that moment was supposed to happen, whether I was in control of it or not. I think my second wife saw that I could offer something to the kids that maybe she couldn't. And it's just maybe a theory. And this made her mad, because she wanted to be the one that gave and provide to the children, because money's not going to do it. Listen, you lay down $1,000 to your kid, that's a very strange thing. You know, here's $1,000. I love you. It's a very strange feeling. Not that it's bad, but it's not the provision. The provision is not pieces of paper that you give them. You know, I don't know, but my grandfather would always have me, you know, sit on his lap and rub his head, and then he'd pat his head. You know, he had a bald head. But regardless, I missed my turn off. But regardless, what I'm trying to say is that, and then, as a reward for us showing kindness and showing affection, he would, we'd receive $1, you give him a handshake and you get $1 kind of thing, I don't think provision is connected to necessarily money, although it can help, but you can't buy love. It's a long process of many stories and vacations to Disney World and putt-putt golf and all kinds of fun stuff. But it takes a lot of action. It takes a lot of action to raise a child. It's a physical thing. But it's also stories that you tell them. You take them to church. You pick up the Bible. You do all that kind of stuff, and you try to get them on the right track. And then one day you have to say goodbye. So no one's a parent forever. So I guess, one way or another, maybe I did it in 5 years, and then they're probably ready to go. But I'm sure they're just hanging around waiting until they're 18. But listen, kids, that's David, Elizabeth, Gwendolyn, all of you guys. When you turn 18, just come see me. You'll find me. I'm easy to find, as the song says. So we've got to make the choice between the two.
Yeah, I think, with this being a resale shop, they got the higher brand stuff,